Hi, this is Mike Sherman, sports editor of the Oklahoman, with this Thunder update. We're previewing Game 4 of the Western Conference Playoff Series between the Dallas Mavericks and the Oklahoma City Thunder. The game will be at 7 o'clock Saturday night in Dallas, where our coverage team, headed up by columnist Barry Trammell, will be there to cover. Talking to Barry right now from Dallas, where he has just got caught in the crossfire of the war of words between the Mavericks and the Thunder. This stuff was coming from the Mavericks side. Barry, what happened today?
Oh, Rick Carlisle is claiming that the Thunder has instigated 4 physical altercations, which at least one I think we can all agree they did. But saying that the Thunder's raising the level of physicality in a way that's beyond the rules. And what's interesting is that he decided to use me. I gave him the opening. I asked him about the Thunder's willingness to get down and dirty in the NBA playoffs, sort of different from the way they used to be. Remember when they were young and everybody was 21 and 22 outside of Kendrick Perkins? The Thunder was just a bunch of athletes out there running around and playing basketball. Well, that's not really what they are now. Now they're bunch of guys that don't mind being in an alley fight, and that includes Kevin Durant. And yet, so Carlisle sort of turned around and said, "Hey, he wanted me to state my name and my affiliation." And then he announced, "This is not me calling the Thunder dirty. It's Barry Trammell from the Oklahoman." So just using me to further his cause, which is interesting because Carlisle's done this before in the 2012 series, the playoff series, Dallas, Oklahoma City. He called out the physical play and said the Thunder was, accosting Dirk Nowitzki and was getting away with everything from grand larceny to whatever mayhem, and it really angered Scotty Brooks. If you remember Brooks, they were roommates together. Carlisle and Brooks in the Continental Basketball Association. It's about the maddest I've ever seen Scotty Brooks get. He was very upset with Rick Carlisle. So Carlisle, I'm sure he's got some points. The Thunder does play aggressive. They do, they do skirt the rules. They do instigate physical altercations. But this is something that this gamesmanship that Carlisle is playing is nothing new. He's done it before.
Barry, when you think of instigate, what exactly are you talking about, and what are you thinking about when you talk about the Thunder being instigate?
Well, I think Steven Adams plays very physical underneath. I think he does a lot of pushing and shoving, and there's a lot of that pushing and shoving and stuff. But Adams, I think, is particularly good at pushing people, and when they push back, he doesn't. He's good at not retaliating the third time, and so often you catch fouls on the second action. I think he's also just good at if the whistles don't blow, I think he's good with it. He likes to play rugged. He's a New Zealand rugby player, so he likes it physical. Serge Ibaka has become much more physical. The LA Times poll from earlier this year listed Ibaka and Adams as 2 of the 5 dirtiest players in the league. I don't know if that's accurate or not, but that's sort of the label they've got. So Carlisle, I think, was playing some mind games with Durant today, with the elbow, wanting to plant some seeds for Durant's physical play. So I think this is. Most of this is gamesmanship. The truth of the matter is the Thunder's bigger and stronger and can just sort of push around the Mavericks. And Carlisle's got to fight back ever how he can, which means he's going to need some help from the whistles.
Of course, you're referring to that LA Times survey of some players, a number of NBA players, conducted by the LA Times Clippers beat writer, which had Ibaka and Adams among the 5 dirtiest players. Barry, you referenced also that Carlisle had done this, had used this ploy before against the Thunder in a playoff series. How'd that turn out?
Thunder won in 4. It didn't affect the series at all. It was a little bit like this year in that the Thunder's just way better. Dallas can't match up. Dallas can't really do much in the way of matching up physically with the more talented Thunder. So, it's sort of a bad combination when you are out talented and you're out physical. And the Thunder was a lot tougher last night. So Dallas has got to reverse that, and one way they can do it is with the help from the officials, because the Mavs are just not as big, they're not as strong. They're just inferior in this series.
I should point out that our Thunder playoff coverage is brought to you by J. Marshall Square, Oklahoma City's only big house apartment community. Barry, Game 4 back in Dallas. Can you tell me, is the Mavericks' injury situation changing at all? Darren Williams was out last game. J.J. Barea came back. What's the latest on the Mavericks situation?
David Lee also came back.
Yeah,
but what
right.
we heard today was Rick Carlisle said he had no injury information, none at all. So it's a case of he's not tipping his hand, but he probably doesn't know anything. The Mavs do seem sort of day to day. They do seem sort of just in a case of just trying to get people patched up and able to play. I think we'll have to see. It seems to me that the guys we saw last night might be the guys who go. Darren Williams was not in good shape Game 2 after 3 quarters, so it's a case of Dallas. These guys that they've got, Barea seemed to come through the game okay. Lee's not much of a factor, so this may be what the Mavericks have from here on out.
We've had 2 blowouts and 1 last-second defeat for the Thunder. The Steven Adams tip coming too late. What kind of game do you see in Game 4?
Oh, I think the Mavs will come out and tougher and physical, and you might see some whistles blow. You might see. I think Dallas will play tougher. But the truth is, Dallas played pretty well last night. They shot pretty well. They didn't get butchered on the boards. The fast breaks weren't crazy. Dallas is doing most of the things that they needed to do. Thunder only had 9 offensive rebounds, so that's not an exorbitant amount. But the Thunder's just so much better than this sort of patched together Dallas team that there's just not much they can do. So I think the Thunder will win, but I expect it to be tougher.
Thanks, Barry. That's all for this Thunder Update. Again, brought to you by J. Marshall Square, OKC's only big house apartment community. You can stay with the best coverage team anywhere, every day at News OK, every morning in the Oklahoman.